What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new season and new episode of the Tea Time with Tara show. I am your host, Tara M. Williams. Here at Tea Time with Tara, we believe that you have a voice and it needs to be heard. We are business and Bible basics. If you haven't already, head over to my website at www.stalkyourdestiny.com/shop and get your copy of my book, The ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny. On this show, I ask my guests what they need on their journey to stalking their destiny. And my guest today chose the word focus. Now, this book goes from A to Z of the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny. And so I want to read a little bit of focus to you in just a moment. Put things in their proper place. And when you put things in their proper place, then you're able to see how much more time you have to focus on other things. And if your professional life, if your business life, if you're trying to make a life for yourself, if those things are not in order, then stop rushing to the comfort of a dependent person. Stop rushing to lean on someone else if you are not taking care of your own situation, your own life. And that's a really, really big distraction because we all want and need the social connection in terms of another person, in terms of love and endearment, those types of things, companionship. We need those things, but put them in proper place. And there's a saying, I think I've said it before, do what you have to do so that you can do what you want to do. So here for focus, it says, how many of us have so much going on that nothing fully gets 100% of our focus? Everyone is so busy being busy. There's nothing wrong with being busy, but we must focus on whatever the task at hand is. I tell my clients to choose what day of the week they want to focus on different things. For example, perhaps on Monday and Wednesday, you focus on writing that book or recording that blog. Maybe Friday is family day, and let's say Sunday is your day to rest, while Tuesday and Thursday are the days you focus on your ministry or business. Choosing certain days of the week allow you to alleviate some of the pressure from dealing with everything at one time. It also allows you to zone in on the projects you are working on. Being present in each moment of your life makes room for more memories to be created. Deadlines can be prioritized once you get in a zone. You can stay there because that is your day to focus on that alone. Don't be so busy that you cannot make time to focus on what it is you are doing. On a daily basis, I run across people who claim to be all over the place. They believe they can get organized and then come and meet with me. I find myself laughing out loud at them because if they had it all together, they wouldn't need me in the first place. I say to them, bring me your mess and I will make your plate. What I mean by this is if you are all over the place and unable to gain balance or focus, seeking help allows someone else to come in and organize things for you. Seeking help and allowing someone else to come in and organize things for you may be helpful. I am OCD. This means that I have obsessive compulsive disorder. This is a mental disorder that I had to learn how to manage in order to focus better and be more productive in my day. I had to seek out help with my household so that I would not spend my entire day upset that I didn't have time to clean my kitchen, y'all. Okay. And knowing that, having those compulsive thoughts also kept me from doing my work. By seeking outside help and learning to let them help me, I gave myself permission to focus on my kids, my work, my ministry, and even myself. By scheduling my days and getting the help I needed, oh, hold on. I can be that much more effective in the way I run my household and businesses. I am excited to focus on each section because I know I can get something done each day. Staying focused also helps me to be able to say yes or no to things. I have prioritized and planned with purpose. Open yourself up to being more focused. It too is a key to stalking your destiny. Okay. And that was the chapter titled Focus from my book ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny. And with Stalk Your Destiny, we believe that everything you want to become, you already are. So now, my guest for today is my friend, and you guys are going to love her. It's Twearnier. And I don't know how she wants to introduce herself. So I'm going to let her do it as I do with my other guests as well, y'all. So welcome to the show, Twearnier.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
being here
you.
today.
It's my pleasure.
Set this up for a little bit. Okay. So let us know who you are and a little bit about yourself. Whatever you want to tell us.
Okay. My name is Twearnier Dawn, and I like to go by both my first and middle name because I feel like I'm always gonna be Twearnier Dawn.
Okay.
So when I introduce myself to like others, not my friends, I go by Twearnier with them. But for everyone else, I'm Twearnier Dawn. I'm always going to be Twearnier Dawn. And I feel like it's a gift from God. So therefore, that's how I want to be.
I actually love it though, too. Because I don't know, the dawn makes you think of the dawn of day.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like that's a special
like
gift.
20 years
Yes.
rising.
Yes.
I like that. So what would you like to tell us about yourself?
Let's see. I am a life coach, and I have seven children. 7 babies came from my body.
Okay.
So
Don't say that lightly. We're not gonna skate past that, y'all.
Right. So they keep me busy, but I've learned so much about myself, about God, about life, by raising them. So
Awesome.
I
Well,
really
shout out to the
appreciate that.
7.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you chose focus as your word for stalk your destiny. For what you need on your journey to stalking your destiny. And so one of the questions here, and I'll ask you a little bit more about your journey in just a minute. But one of the questions here says, what do you feel like you need to focus more on in your life?
You know what? I think at this point in my life, the thing that I need to focus the most on is listening for God's voice.
Okay.
And I feel like I've always done that, but I feel like now I recognize God has us to walk in a space where it's not always comfortable. And for a lot of my life, I was either listening to other people or my own like fear or doubts or whatever things that I feel like I already knew.
Okay.
But now I'm focusing in on allowing God to lead me in whatever he's saying to do. And sometimes it's really uncomfortable and sometimes it's out of my comfort zone. But I know that whatever that is ultimately going to get me where I see for myself and where God's shown me for myself. So that's what I'm focusing the most on. Just like, okay, God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do now?
Right.
And I kind of see it with like a sense of excitement. Like, what are we going to do? Sometimes a little scary, but it's still exciting.
Okay. So how do you with that,
Hmm.
how do you differentiate? Because I know some people who may be watching this may struggle with differentiating between my voice,
Hmm.
my thoughts, like you said, in God's voice. So, what would you tell them about how to hear from God?
I'd say it's a trial and error. Like the more you spend time with God, the more you know his voice. So it's like I know your voice because I've heard it so much. But if it was, if it's my first time meeting you, then I'm not going to necessarily be able to differentiate your
Yes.
your voice from others. So it's
Hmm.
it's spending time, and it's also in getting it wrong sometimes too. Like being okay with getting it wrong, being okay with I thought God said that, but it
Right.
wasn't God. I have to listen again
Yeah.
and find where like that sweet spot.
Okay.
So just spending time, being okay with getting it wrong, and then when you get it right, you focus in and you're like, "Oh, that's it."
Okay.
And one thing that God would do to train me, he would tell me to tell people certain things.
Right.
And I feel like, "Oh my gosh." I don't and I'll go and I'll tell them, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, really? God told you that?"
Right.
Because God just said that to me earlier today, and then
Hmm.
it's like that confirmation where it's like, "Okay, that was God."
Yeah. I always notice for me when I'm like say if we're at church or something and the pastor's talking and I'm writing notes and then I'll be like, "What was that?" like the TikTok videos, "Who said
Right,
that?" Like
right.
and I'm writing like, "Hold on, that is not what the pastor said." Like, "Wait,
Mhm,
let's run this back." You know, um, but of course if you're there at church live, you can't run it back.
mhm,
But I just like writing when I'm spending time with God because I can write sometimes I can write my own questions or thoughts in a different color. And then what I'm
mhm,
hearing, I'll write that in another color.
mhm,
Or if I'm just writing and usually when I'm writing is when I can hear from God because I have to hear it and see it. Like I
mhm,
need to sit and see what you say, kind of like in Habakkuk.
mhm,
He sat at his post or stood at his post. The
mhm,
translations, the versions are different. But Imma say I sat at my post in my time with God, and focused
mhm.
in on what was the Lord saying. What does the Lord say about this or that? And if I don't have an answer, I don't hear anything, I don't try to make something up.
Right.
I leave blank spaces so that
Mhm,
I can go back to it and say, God, are you gonna address this or what?
mhm.
Because I can make up my own answer any day.
Right.
And so like, are you gonna address this? And I just wait to see what he says because it does say in Habakkuk 2, y'all. Habakkuk 2, I think it's verse 2 and 3 said, maybe, yeah, I think it's 2 and 3 where he says, I stood at my post and I watched or waited to see what the Lord would say.
Mhm,
Okay. And so then it says, write the vision and make it plain, is what the Lord's response was. Excuse me. So in order to see what God is saying, if you need help focusing on that, maybe write it down. I don't know if I always say it, but I've always heard and believed that you should keep a notebook next to your bed
mhm,
because God will speak to you in the quiet, the still quiet of the dawn.
mhm.
Yeah, of the morning. Of the morning. And you don't wanna miss that time. You don't
Mhm.
wanna miss that thought as soon as you wake up or what you heard when you
Right,
wake up.
right,
So that's just y'all listen, the book said I was OCD. I'm also ADD, so, these
right.
tangents, I'm just gonna keep going.
I wanna give another thing of how I'm able to focus in on what God says.
Mhm.
Um, One thing is how do I put this? Okay, so when you know something, like let's say if I say 1 plus 1 is 2, like there's something that's in you that kinda highlights like, "Yeah, that's right."
Right, because 'cause it's been embedded in us.
Right. Or but if I say to you, 1 plus 1 is 9. Like, there's something else that happens in your body that you're like, I don't know about that. And I find that God speaks to me with those little highlights where it's like, that's
Mhm.
it. Like, you feel it in your body.
Yeah.
And so when there's a difference in when you're just telling yourself something to make yourself feel good, you know when it's not the
Mhm.
truth. But when like that's it highlights in your body. So that's one way I know when God is telling me something, the difference when it's just me just saying something
Mhm.
versus God guiding me into this because it's like this, that's it.
And see,
You can feel it.
I would've known it was God with the what? 1 plus 1 is 9, and God would've been like, "Yeah, your 1 plus my 1 is 9, because you don't know
Right.
what I have,
Mhm.
and you don't know how I can use what you have, so your 1 plus my 1 is 9." And I would've been like, "Listen, y'all, I didn't tell me
Right.
that 1 plus 1 was 9. We know that's not it, but God said it, so it doesn't make sense to me, but it makes a lot of sense spiritually, when I say, "Okay, well, this is God's math, not mine."
Mhm.
you know, and his math is multiplication anyway. And so I'm like, okay, well, if I have one like the loaves, 2 loaves and
Right.
5 fish,
Right.
and that fed over what, 5,000
Of
women and children, right?
plus women and children,
Oh,
right?
men
Yeah.
plus
Men plus women
plus
and
women and
children.
children.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, his math, it would have just, for me, I would have been like, oh yeah, that's God, because
Uh-huh.
I don't, that don't make no sense, and usually it's like, yeah, God, you ain't making no sense right now.
Right.
But Imma do it,
Right.
Imma we gonna go forward with this, and I don't know how to explain it to people, and that's the part that kinda can make you fearful.
Mhm.
Um, so why do you need to focus on your journey to stalking your destiny?
You know what? um, I tend to look at I love to people watch.
Okay.
So, I people watch just in general, just watching people sitting in the car and watching people walking and things like that. But then I also like to pay attention to people's lives and what's working and what's not working.
Mhm.
And so, um I lost train of thought what I was
She
saying.
can't focus, y'all. She's having trouble
Oh, okay.
focusing.
But okay, but the thing is that I noticed that a lot of times we have there's this generic way of life that people tell us this is how you're supposed to live. This is the way,
Yeah.
this way things are. But it doesn't. I look at people like the fruit of what they're actually getting out of it, and I'm like, I don't want that.
At all.
I don't want
At
that.
all. Man, listen, y'all pay attention, okay? Focus on what you
So
do and don't want in your life.
right, right. And you were like, "Oh, you can't do this. We don't do this." Blah, blah, blah. And I look at the fruit of your life, and I'm like, I don't want no part of that. And I don't see that it's even something that honors God.
Mhm.
And it's not something that you're a growing person from. So I want to be growing. I want to be, expanding in who I am and who God made me to be, who He's shown me that I am.
Uh-huh.
And I know that the only way that I can do that is if I'm actually focusing and paying attention to what He's saying and not what everybody else is saying. Because obviously their fruit would say something different, it would
Mhm.
show something different if they were doing what they needed to be doing. So I'm
So y'all
focusing.
think about that. Thank you. Think about that and comment below and let us know, what fruit are you bearing in your own life? What fruit can you see from the work that you've been putting in or from your time with God or whatever you're focusing on? Because what you're focusing on will manifest itself,
Mhm.
and I don't even like talking about the word manifestation, but what you focus on, it really is the thing that keeps coming to the forefront. And sometimes when we're in like hardships or we're celebrating, if we stay there too long, we miss what's next.
Mhm.
If we can't come out of it, you miss what's happening around you because you tend to focus in on those things. So sometimes you got to
Yeah.
look up and see, your surroundings. I don't know how I went to that, but, stay with me on it. So, y'all, she was showing us so much personality prior to the show starting. So, I'm finna mess with her now. So, tell us something fun about you.
Okay, fun. I love to dance.
She's a dance
Oh,
machine.
I love to dance. If you put some music on, it's almost like my body's like, "We have to dance to this." And, I love doing puzzles, like, just random puzzles. I've done puzzles that have absolutely nothing on it but the
Mhm.
pieces. You
Does
said
that help
something
you
fun.
focus?
It does, and it teaches me a lot about life too.
Like,
I learned so much
inquiring
about
minds
life.
wanna know.
Okay,
Like,
so, like
what do puzzles teach you?
okay, I have a whole list in my phone, but Imma try
You wanna
Imma
grab your
try
phone?
to no, Imma
Okay.
just keep it to what I can think of off the top of my head. Um, one thing, that puzzles teach you is that sometimes, like, you can have a piece and you're like, "I have no idea where this goes." But it looks like it goes somewhere really important, and you're just like, "Ugh," and you just set it to the side. The more you put in the rest of the other pieces,
Mhm.
it's gonna start making sense, and you're just gonna be like, "Oh, that's where that one goes." And there's some things in life where you just like let's say you have this weird hidden talent or something like
Mhm.
that, or, or you have something like you're a really great listener and be like, is that really a talent? But you'll see later on where it actually fits in the
Mm.
piece of life,
Yeah.
in your life and where it fits in with every, the world that God put us in. So that's one of them.
That reminds me of, placement, okay? 2 different ways, though. Like, number 1 is a bottle of water. It's the same bottle of water, same company, same brand, same label, but it
Mhm.
costs something different in each
Mhm.
environment. So, that makes me think of placement, because the surroundings matter.
Right.
And in life placement, your surroundings matter because that brings me to the second thing, which is like the violin player who was in the subway playing,
Mhm.
or even if say he was in New York, like in what's that, Washington Park or something, I forgot what it's called, but somewhere in New York playing, right? And he was on a subway though, for this example. He was on a subway the same night that he played a sold out concert. So he
Mhm.
was there first. Nobody really paid him any attention. And then when he was in the right position, you
Mhm.
know, um, and I'm sure that that took patience too, but it shows his journey in one day. If
Mhm.
he was in the once he was in the right position, it was an audience who came to see him
Right.
intentionally
Mhm.
versus the bunch of people who walked on by. And that for me with the puzzle piece reminds me of patience,
Mhm.
gentleness, kindness. Because what if you would have got mad at me like, I don't want this crap,
Right.
and just threw the piece
Mhm.
out? Then you wouldn't have had it to complete the puzzle and say, wow, look at that,
Mhm.
and you have to focus on
Mhm.
it as well. I don't know why I'm trying to drive the word focus in today, y'all. Y'all get it, right? I hope you get it because I'm sick of it already. But, what else do you think that teaches you, or was that it?
Um, I think you hit on one of them when we were talking about the pieces. I don't know if you hit on it or if I just heard it while you were talking.
See? That part. Okay.
Okay, so one of them is sometimes you can put a piece where it doesn't belong. It seemed like it went there at the time,
Mhm.
but as you go on and you're putting stuff there, especially when you're doing the ones that don't have nothing on it,
Mhm.
you're like, okay, there's how is this not working? And then you go in and you recognize, okay, wait a minute, one of these is wrong. And so you start pulling and you be like, oh, there it is. And sometimes in life, what we do, we thought it was the right thing, the right path, the right
Man,
person, the right relationship, the right
the
whatever it
right
is.
job, the right
Right.
everything. Yeah, the right
Right.
decision. Yeah.
Right. But it wasn't quite it. And it's okay that it wasn't quite it because you
Mhm.
can easily remove it and put what goes actually in that spot, in the spot, and then everything else just works from there. So I think that's a valuable thing to recognize, that you don't have to take everything so seriously. It's okay if you have to be like, you know what, that didn't work, and I'm gonna
Mm.
try something different.
Sometimes too for people that I think that y'all need to hear that, okay? Um I think we need to hear that. I'm gonna say we, okay? Because sometimes you can get life can get you down. You know,
Mhm.
like you did something wrong, you kick yourself in the butt about it. And again, you sit there. You know, you sit there
Mhm.
in discouragement. You sit there and you allow fear to come in. Now you distrust yourself. And now you like, God, did you tell me this for real or not? You
Mhm.
know, or whatever. And that can slow time down for you,
Right.
you know? Versus if we say, okay, well, I did that, I did this, it didn't work, you know, I'm gonna try this way. I was kicking and screaming today, I'm not gonna lie. I was kicking and screaming today. I told my mom, I was like, Mommy, I did this, I did this, I do that, I do that, I do this. I just wanna see the benefits. I wanna see the blossom and the harvest from
Mhm.
all of the seeds that I've sown. Um, but again, y'all, you can't stay there, okay?
Mhm.
You can't stay there. Sometimes you have to refocus. And to me, my explanation, y'all, because please don't nail me to a wall. To means that it's done in advance and it's done well. Okay. So when you're refocusing, it's like I'm already there. I'm catching up to the me I want to be. We talked about that earlier today. I'm
Mhm.
catching up to the me I want to be. And if we think that and put that in context for us, I'm just catching up to the me I want to be. It's already there. It's already in place. It's already
Mhm.
done. God already written it out for the believers here. I hope y'all believers. If you're not, get on board.
Mhm.
You know, get to know Jesus. He's good. Um, but get to know God for yourself, okay? Um, I lost it. I lost it. My mind went to now went to some other stuff right now. But refocus, y'all. Pull it back down, okay? Bring yourself back. Bring yourself back. And sometimes it's gonna take kicking and screaming. Sometimes it's gonna take moments of focusing in on the pain sometimes, but also refocus to the good of the matter. Again, because if we use that, the puzzle piece for me, because it paints a picture,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
And because that paints a picture, you have to determine, is this what I'm looking at? Because the puzzle was already done before it was broken up, right?
Mhm.
So it usually comes with the photo for you to see the
Right.
vision of
Uh-huh.
what you're doing. And so, excuse me, when you mess up, you have the opportunity in real life to say, let me take a step back and look at the bigger picture.
Mhm.
Let me refocus on this. Let me readjust, you know,
Mhm.
sometimes too, and try it again. I think
Mhm.
you have to have the courage to refocus and
Mhm.
try it again and, you know, keep your faith. I'm about to be preaching. I'm not finna do it today. I'm not finna
It's all
preach
right,
today,
do
y'all.
it, let's go.
Oh no. Because I mean you have to it all has to work together. You
Mhm.
know, and that just comes back to Romans 8 and 28, where it says, you know, all things it says in all things God works, or the other version that says all things work together, you know.
Mhm.
Um and that's just part of the scripture, y'all. Read it for yourself, please. Romans 8 and 28. Go back and forward on it too, please. Okay, so that's really good. What other fun things about you do you want us to know?
Hmm. I have to think about this. Um, hmm. I can't think of anything else.
That's okay.
Maybe you can say something fun about me.
Oh, let me see. Twearnier, y'all, is an unexpected, like, vibrant bubble, okay? So she is a dance machine. She told y'all she likes to dance, right?
Mhm.
But she'll dance at the most random times. It'll be like, "Hey, how you doing today?" You know, and it's like, "Why are you dancing? Like, cut it out." Like,
I'll dance at the grocery store. I'll just be
right.
like
But you just show up at the door like, "Ah, hi," and start dancing. Um, And I find that refreshing.
Mhm.
Um, Other stuff, I feel like I don't wanna tell your business too much.
Thank you,
I know you
thank you.
personally. This is a show. Hey, y'all, this is a show.
Mhm.
Um, and I had another question. I was gonna take it in a different direct. Oh, yes. What are you focusing on, in this year ahead as a life coach? Because you mentioned that you were a life coach. Now, I
Mhm.
know that you're an author. I
Mhm.
don't know if you mentioned that.
No, I did not.
Um, but what are you looking forward to ahead or focusing in on ahead for your year ahead as a life coach?
You know what? I'm just gonna say this because I do have my own plans that I have written down
Mhm.
that God has shown me to do. However, I'm taking it one step at a time with God with this one. Cause I
Mhm.
feel like at this point in my life, um, I wanna make sure that I'm not overstepping him with my own desires.
Mhm.
And so, one thing though, my big thing that I would love to is build community around people that are looking to live in a way that is, how do I put this? To live in a way that is authentic to themselves and being okay with who they are in God, like who
Mhm.
God made them to be. And so,
Not trying to conform to what people tell them you must be.
right,
Yeah.
right. So that's one big thing that I really am looking in the coming year to build that community, where we all have a space where you can come being you and you is perfectly okay. And
Right.
that you can develop more into you
Mhm.
and that's okay because sometimes we don't see ourselves or we don't accept ourselves fully as we are and we
Mhm.
think we need to either tone down or get more boisterous or
Yeah.
whatever it is, but sometimes we just have to kind of feel ourselves out. And
Right.
so that's what this community is about, like being able to feel yourself out and get to walk in what God has for you to do.
And getting to it sounds like it's for you to get to know you, to
Yeah.
learn to just be because
Mhm.
um what I kind of heard you saying is that we're not comfortable in our own skin
Mhm.
and you don't get to be comfortable in your own skin if I just say, "Okay, like you're not in your own skin. Come do this. Join my
Mhm.
program. Do this, do that." Um and while those things may be helpful and supportive, you don't have the time to just bear it all. You
Mhm.
know, you don't have the time to just decide like or even just evaluate and see, is this really who I am?
Mhm.
And is this really who I want to be?
Mhm.
Without someone like this, we beat ourselves up enough. We don't need someone else to condemn us.
Right.
And so with that, having the space to just be, I feel like we don't have that. We don't have enough spaces that cultivate the idea that I just would like you to show up and be present
Mhm.
and be yourself. There's a
Mhm.
Stokely song that I love. It's called Organic, but it says just be you. You don't got to try, just do.
Mhm.
Doing too much might change my view of you. So let it grow organic, cuz it's automatically you, you
Mhm.
know? And so I feel like we're, from a kid growing up, you're taught do this, do this, do this, do this, do that. Versus saying like, "So what do you like?
Mhm. Right.
What would you like to do today?"
Mhm.
Um, so I love that concept.
Mhm.
And I love that the concept is also with God because we know in churches, we're growing up and it says, "Come as you are,"
Mhm.
you know? But some churches will quickly try and say, "But come as you are, but that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong,
Right.
that's wrong, this is
Fix
wrong.
that.
Yeah, what are you doing with this over
Mhm.
here? And you can't sit over here with us." And it's like, bro, shut up,
Mhm.
first of all, okay? And sit down, because you don't know my background. And
Right.
maybe you do know my background, but you don't know what's happening in the background of my life
Mhm.
or what God is doing. So y'all, it's important to get into community and community organizations or whatever you are doing in your life. If you're doing fun stuff, and even if you're just like, I'm not with all that church stuff, okay, fine. It's still important to make sure that you connect with people who are like-minded, moral-minded, okay, value-minded, in the same likeness as you, so that you have a place to breathe, be, grow, and do more.
Mhm.
And find fulfillment in that. She
Yes.
didn't mention that, y'all,
I
so I'm not
didn't. I
I don't
didn't.
know if I should go that way
I'll
or
go ahead and
not.
do it. I'll go ahead and do it. So I didn't mention, but my business name is Fulfilled You. That's full like FULL
Mhm,
filled FILLED and then you. It's two
mhm,
parts. So the first part is about us.
uh-huh,
And I think that a lot of times we put ourselves on the back burner and we don't recognize that it's okay to just be fully us.
mhm.
And then the second part is filled, and that's allowing God to guide, to teach, to give us what's the word? I can't think of the word, but it's more like infuse us, I guess, in so many ways
Mhm.
with his spirit of love and joy and peace and
Permeate.
kindness. Yes, that like just come in and just fill us
Spread
up.
throughout.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. So,
Or that's the, fluorescent maybe too, to be
yeah.
lit from within.
Mhm. And I think that's I think that makes a full life
Mhm.
to have those two parts. Because a lot of times I find is that people will either just be full of themselves and put God to the back burner, or they be filled with God and just put themselves to the back burner. And you need both to be able to like really experience life the way God intended us to experience it.
Okay, well, Twanier, thank you, Twanier Dawn. Thank you so much for being a guest on our show today. Is there anything you would like to leave the audience with? Whether Y'all, she always has a thought, okay? That's kind of her thing. Do you have a thought that you would like to share with the audience, or, just something to consider, or just a message you want to leave us with today?
Okay, let me take a moment to think about this. It's not gonna be a long moment, but it's gonna be a little moment.
It's okay.
Okay.
We're here for the moment.
Okay, so I'd say that am I looking at
You can
okay.
look at your camera.
All right. I say that the most important thing that I find in focusing is to recognize that you're not always going to have all the answers right away, and it's okay. It's okay that you don't have all the answers. It's okay that you're figuring it out, and it's okay that you're taking the time to like really hone in on what it is that you should be doing. And I would say the best times to be able to do that is early in the morning, like before everybody's up, just get up and have a little quiet time to yourself. What I like to do is like put on I have a little headlight. It's like a rechargeable headlight, and I just turn that on because I don't want a lot of light or anything like that. I just want to be in the stillness of the moment. But either early in the morning or later at night, that's when you can be able to really focus in and not worried about, who else is in the house or who else needs this or how many minutes do I have before dinner or before breakfast. Just really to take the time either before or in the or after the day is over to really just hone in on what it is that God has for you and look for those little highlights that says, okay, that's it. You'll know it. You will know it when you feel it, when you're like, oh, and ask God specific questions. Like you can't just be generic like, "God, let me have a good day today." Like you have to you have to be like, "What does a good day look like to me?" God, help me to be on time for work today. Help me to not burn the food. Help it to taste good. Like show me what person I need to talk to today. Guide me in this space. And when you get to that place, like, hey, okay, if you said don't burn the food, and I feel like this little anxious feeling, oh, that means go check on the food. Or if you feel like you said, who should I talk today? When you walk up, you get close to them, it's like something just bubbles up inside of you, and it's like, that's the person, that's the person. So I say just take the time to focus in on what God has for you and be okay with if you didn't get it right. There's always next time. And the more you get it wrong, you'll see that's not it. And the more you get it right, you'll see that it's not it. So just be okay with playing with it. So that's my thought.
That was her thought for the day, y'all. It was a lot of thoughts in one, though.
Yeah, it was.
I hope y'all took notes. If not, head over to our YouTube channel at Stalk Your Destiny. Probably where you're watching this now. Hit the subscribe button and come back and watch this again. And share it with somebody else too, because they need it. Okay? So thank you for that moment. That was a lot. I actually had more thoughts while you were talking, but then I was like, I lost it.
Oh, okay.
But I did have more, but I can't even think of it now because I was just listening like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But okay. So is there any way that they can connect with you or on social media or a website that you have if someone wanted to look you up? Or
Um
did you want to just reserve that information for another time?
Yes. If you want to follow me on social media, you can find it under Fulfilled You.
Okay.
And I also have a stand store that I have some of my products and some of the things that I'm working on and events and things like that. And
So
that's
what's your
Fulfilled You.
okay, same thing.
Mhm.
Okay. So y'all, that would be www.stan.store/fulfilledyou, right?
Mhm.
And the U is not spelled out, it's just the letter U.
Right.
Okay. And so if you want to connect with me, you can look up www.stalkyourdestiny.com. Until then, this is Tea Time, the Tea Time with Tarah show, where you have a voice and it needs to be heard. And with Stalk Your Destiny, we believe that everything you want to become, you already are. Thank you so much again for being on our show today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And we will see you all again next time. Bye.